I know that this is a very unexpected video for the channel, but damn it, that Samurai Jack ending, guys, like, it was such a brilliant season, and the last episode just threw it all away. And I know that there's people that are saying, like, it's one of the best endings ever, it's one of the worst endings ever. I'm gonna kind of just give my spin on it because I feel it was way too cliche. It was disingenuous to everything else that we saw in the season. That in the beginning of it, season 5, where it's like, yo, there's like violence, and then when he starts like killing people and we see real blood, that's a big change. That's why I love the change from Cartoon Network to Adult Swim, because on Adult Swim, you could do that. In Cartoon Network 90s days, that's like Powerpuff Girls and stuff, you know, you had to be beating up ambiguous characters that just had blackness, or, you know, bugs that oozed green when they got hit, or like the early Samurai Jack where it's all machines and stuff. So oil isn't blood, so therefore you're allowed to get away with it. But now, like, this was violence, this was hardcore, this is what you would expect a mature Samurai Jack after everyone that watched it as a kid, like me, grew up. Like, we can handle it, and it was cool. And then the love interest happened. I think that that's, like, when I saw Jack and Ashi kiss, and even before that, like, that whole episode, when they were building up, like, a tee-hee romantic interest, I was like, oh, that's cliche. The series was dead to me. The series was dead to me at that point, so maybe that's why I'm not as disappointed in the ending as other people, and I can maybe look at it a bit differently. But when I saw that happen, I was like, alright, now we know the rest of the series is just going to be read like a book. You know, she's going to get captured. I didn't expect it to be in the way that she did. Like, I didn't know it was Aku just, oh yeah, by the way, you're my daughter, so you have to work for me now. That was, I actually didn't disagree with it. It was kind of silly, but it's like, something's going to happen to Ashi, Jack can't kill her, plot armor, back in time, time paradox, end. Like, that's exactly what happened. I think that that actually reveals the biggest issue with Samurai Jack. Like, the writing up until that point was brilliant. All they had to do was just address that once Jack goes in the past, none of this exists anymore. Therefore, there are no repercussions. Therefore, he could have gone just as hardcore as possible. Like, Ashi as a character wasn't really bad. She was a really good device for bringing in all those cameos, connecting the world together, and then even when she, like, killed her mom or whatever the Dark Shadow lady was, did they even, like, get names or representation? When she killed her to save Jack, I was like, yes, that works. Now, don't fall in love with him and then be a sacrificial pawn so Jack can get back to the past, and that's really all it's about. Gotta get back to the past. Samurai Jack pulled it off. Cool. And I do like that about the ending. So I was able to find the closure that I wanted in the ending. I just feel that the way they got there was really stupid. Because, yeah, like, I was accepting that maybe Ashi gets lost in the portal. Like, okay, that would make a lot more sense. That, you know, Ashi, she summons a portal, which was amazing. Like, Ashi summoning the portal was one of the coolest things ever, because I was like, oh, what a way to actually have the final showdown be in the past where it should have been. And then Aku, he's like, oh, you're back already. You know, that was pretty cool. And also the way that that unfolded, it maybe could have shown that the timeline can exist even with Aku dying there, because that past existed, and then Jack came through the future that way. I know that time paradoxes are really hard to talk about and understand, but Ashi not getting lost in the portal, that really complicates things. And then when she says, Aku left me, instead of vanishing completely, that really fucked over everything, because sure, they're trying to, like, throw a spin on it, you know, haha, got you, Ashi still vanishes because time shenanigans, but she existed for months in the past, or however long it takes to get everyone from across the world to come together, and then host a wedding. That's way too long. It's better for her to just stay in that world. Like, you break less time paradoxes by keeping her in the world than by saying, oh, by the way, now she magically just cannot exist here. Whatever was keeping her here, that magic is gone. And I mean, after the Scotsman comes back through Celtic magic, who cares? Like, I was okay with that. He gets blown up, he gets nuked, makes you feel a bit, and then he's still crazy when he comes back. Loved it. You know, there were some moments like that were a little silly, but they worked out in the end. And I was okay with all that, but I just wasn't okay with love interest cliche, because it took away everything. Like, when they showed the commercial for the Samurai Jack marathon, and they were showing all the episodes had some of the coolest moments ever. But the second that love interest started spinning, or when Ashi got too much spotlight, because they had to build her up too. They had to build her up so you got invested, so that way, you know, you understood why Samurai Jack wouldn't make the kill against her or anything like that. But when they started shifting the focus onto her, the series lost a lot of what just opened up as the most, like, badass revival of a series ever. And that's why I knew, it was like, well, it's dead now. There were some cool moments, but that's all gone. And then the way that it ends with Samurai Jack, just kind of at the end, you know, that's just cliche number 212. Optimistic ending, even though just a lot of crazy stuff just went down. So I feel that a lot of that could have been avoided, and just, like, there could have been a better feeling at the end. Like, I don't think the ending was rushed. A lot of people do think that the final episode or the final 2 episodes were really rushed. I didn't think that. There was enough fighting. There was enough people getting taken down, you know. All the cameo people, they were getting, like, just bodied. And I feel that if at any time, you know, there was a discussion between Jack and Ashi, maybe even a flashback, like, when Ashi says, "Kill me, Jack, you know, you have to kill me," if there was a flashback moment where they're talking by a fire or something, or even, like, after the kiss, like, you know that once you go back to the past, I won't exist anymore. So if you have to kill me, that's okay, because it doesn't matter. We still shared this moment between us, but if you want to get your goal, and I want to see you get your goal, it's okay, because if you're successful, none of this happens anyways, or something like that. You know, he'll have the memories, but there's nothing physical, because the future is gone, as Aku has shaped it. But there was no acknowledgement of that. I think that that was the biggest killer of this series, and the finale, and everything like that. It ruined all of that, because yeah, that could have been really badass too. If he finishes, if he just kills Ashi, and then the final episode is just like the mega showdown, and then something crazy like that happens, and like, they built up the Guardian. They built up the Guardian. There was a different storyline. Is there a surprise season 6? Is there going to be a bonus episode at some point? Like, the Guardian got destroyed, which is, like, that made me feel. That was like, oh, shenanigans. How did he get beaten? He was a badass, but like, there could have been, I would have preferred that as like some kind of just, like, that's not even plot loophole. That's not even like a Deus Ex Machina kind of moment. That's just, they come in, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we kind of teased it, and then that's your time portal after slaying Jack or something, right? Like, maybe Aku consumed the Guardian, and then the Guardian still has like a power within him to just kind of like create a time portal after Jack is victorious. Like, that would have been so much cooler, and that would have had so many less plot holes. But no, we didn't get any of that. So that's pretty much what I gotta say. Like, the ending, I'm still okay with it. But since I was able to mentally prepare myself for this moment that once they kissed, the series was dead, I pretty much just like deleted Ashi from my memory for like the last 2 or 3 episodes. And then at the ending, when Samurai Jack is under the cherry blossom tree and it's all cool stuff like that, I feel good. You know, I don't feel it was rushed. I feel the fighting was paced out well. I think it got the proper ending. As long as you just remove Ashi from everything that happened in it, it ended brilliantly. So I'm a little bummed on the stupidity of the cliches, because that's kind of how the series wasn't going until that point. But if you remove that, I think that hopefully this helps people cope with the ending like I have for myself. Now, I did go on the Reddit, and I did look at like Twitter and stuff, and some people are saying that's like, well, the best endings to any series ever or anything. No, those people are just dumb. Like, there's no brilliant writing involved by just taking those love plot armor cliches or whatever, and then just like, oh yeah, and then time travel cliche. No, that was lazy, and I know that all the writers behind that are better than the product they put out. I don't understand why they fell into the cliche trap. So there we go. I don't know. I guess I'll just end it here, because I want to keep talking about it, but I think that kind of summarizes most of my thoughts about it, and maybe it's a different look that makes people think differently about it, but I just feel that was missed, and that there's still a good ending in there, but people are too pissed off about one thing or the other, and if you can kind of work around it, it kind of works.